Hey there everyone, it's me again, Redbeard. If you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that either you're a leftist content creator or maybe you've been thinking about becoming one. Now, I'm not a wizened old big kid bread tuber. Actually, as of this recording, I only have one video published. But maybe that's good. Maybe the freshness of my recent dive into breaddom can help any of you out there on the fence about starting up your own channels. Maybe you're thinking, what qualifies some baby breadcrumb to give me advice? Well, number one, it's my job. I teach creative writing every day, and these tips are the same I give my students all the time. And number two, shut up. Now, this isn't to say that starting a YouTube channel is in any way the only method of supporting the leftist cause, but to keep it easy and to the point, that's what we're going to focus on in this video. I've decided to split this video into two segments because I feel it's better to hold off for a bit on some of the more technical aspects that some other great YouTubers have already hit on before. And also, I just want the extra clicks. Instead, I'm going to focus this video on some of the easy and relatively painless things you can do to get yourself off the sidelines and start making your own content. So, let's get to the tip of the tips. Tip 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Don't wait. This tip gets 5 top spots because it is by far the most important. There are lots of things that can get in the way of working on a new project, sure, but for most, the biggest roadblock for starting your own channel is you. Yes, you. Fear and doubt are at the core of procrastination. Or, as Dune author Frank Herbert said better, fear is the mind killer. If you've been kicking around the thought of starting a YouTube channel, what's been stopping you? Don't think that what you have to say matters? It does. Like, really, it does. The left needs you. Think someone has said it better before? Then say it again. Your audience will never be the exact same people as the others. You're going to reach more people, and that's what we're all trying to do here, right? Also, I guarantee you no one has the exact same thoughts and perspectives as you. Afraid of showing your face? Then don't. You can use an avatar or static image, like I'm doing right now. Alternatively, you can make very compelling videos using graphics and stock footage from places like Pixabay or archive.org. And we'll touch more on this in the next video. Too busy at work? Then put out materials slowly and when you can. It all helps the movement. I personally work a full-time job while doing this, but I know it's important, so I'm squeezing in the hours. Just waiting for the right time? Well, here's a hint. There will never be a perfect moment. The right time is right now. Change lies bleeding in a graveyard of self-doubt. Am I guilting you into this? Well, I don't know. Do you feel guilty? Maybe that stir in your gut is a sign that you want to do something about the issues you feel passionate about. Okay then, let's talk about getting you ready and running. Tip 6. Jot down all your ideas. So, you finally got up the nerve and decided you're going to make a channel. Awesome. But where do you start? Well, the first goal is figuring out what you want to talk about. Don't know what that is yet? No problem. Just think about what you're most passionate about. And to help find out what that is, start jotting down your ideas, no matter how big or small. Keep a notepad or phone app with you, and the moment something pops into your head, write it down. Personally, I use the Evernote app because it syncs across my devices, but anything that you can keep notes on is fine. For me, I have severe ADHD, so being able to write down any idea the moment it comes into my head is critical to prevent it from fading out into the ether. Put everything down, whether it's an idea for a video, a perspective you have about something, or a concept you want to research and learn more about. You don't have to use it if eventually you decide you don't like it. Just get it out of your head and onto paper, or pixel. whatever. A useful method for jotting down ideas is to put them in bullet points. You can nest other thoughts that might be included in an idea for a video, and you'll probably find that many ideas can be combined into one video. This is a great way to get a rough outline of what you want to talk about. You can also use this same method when you're starting your script, which brings us to the next tip. Tip number 7, start writing scripts. Now that you have some ideas yanked out of your noggin and into the real world, it's time to flesh them out into words. It's time to do what you avoided at all costs in high school, writing essays. Or maybe it's not an essay. Maybe it's a story. Maybe it's a reaction video. Maybe it's a how-to guide because you're procrastinating on what your next topic is going to be. The hardest part for me has been and always is figuring out where to start when it comes to script writing. For this, I always turn to the wisdom of the ancient Greek goddess Nike, who proclaimed high from Mount Olympus, "Just do it." Stop worrying about how to start and just start. Epiphanies don't reveal themselves to those who wait for the cosmos to do the work for them. Start putting out words, and it will evolve as you go. Start with whatever phrase or idea that has been floating around in your head, whether it's at the beginning, the middle, or even in your sign-off. Then write down everything that comes to you after. You can always delete or change what doesn't work. I promise it'll start snowballing, and you'll eventually find yourself having a problem of cutting out stuff more than finding things to say. The absolute highest priority here is to get the ball rolling. Remember those notes you've been writing? Grab whichever bullet points you feel most comfortable with and start adding to them until you end up with a rough outline. Then, start to move them around and restructure your outline as you see fit. You can keep adding to them until you have most of your script basically finished, as far as the ideas are concerned. I usually keep adding to the outline until at least about 50% of the script is finished. Then it's just a matter of filling in the in-betweens. Your first script doesn't even have to be for your first video. Mine wasn't. The first script I wrote is for a video I haven't even started filming yet. Get everything in your head out of there, and soon you'll realize what you want to be your actual first finished video. Then, have some people whose opinion you trust look over your script and give you feedback. Now, showing someone your first script can leave you a little vulnerable, so make sure to share it with people you feel comfortable with, and try to listen to their thoughts without bringing in your emotions. That being said, it's your video, and you have the final say over what goes into it. Tip 8. Make a video and trash it. This tip is exactly what it sounds like. No, really. Write a script, record it, edit it, even upload it to YouTube as unlisted, then never publish it. So, I can see you moving towards that close tab button right now, but give old Redbeard here a chance to explain. I know this sounds like a waste of time, but there are a few reasons why this can be immensely helpful. The more obvious reason is that you'll learn a ton from doing this. If you're apprehensive about all the technicalities and learning curves, this will give you a huge boost. You don't have to wreck yourself doing an extensive script and high-end video production, but as long as you make something while having an intent of seeing it through to completion, you'll learn far more than you ever could by watching online tutorials. So, why bother going as far as uploading it? Well, for one thing, just the act of getting it set up and ready on YouTube can also be an experience that you'll want to spend some time learning. But as long as you set it as unlisted, you'll have a link that only people you share it with can see. This is great for getting feedback from people you trust, or you can even reach out to some of the other YouTube creators and get their input. You can even send me a DM on Twitter at Softboy Social Club, and I'll do whatever I can to give it a look-see. Now, all of this is going to make you a more skilled creator, but far more importantly, it will get you moving. You're going to see or hear yourself on screen, or realize your video is too short, or maybe it's dragging on too long, or any other things you might be unsatisfied with. Once you've noticed these areas to improve on, you're going to be a lot more confident tackling your next go-round for your first actual video. And I can pretty much guarantee you'll be far more satisfied with the results. Don't think anyone would ever go through all this pain? Well, I did. Yep, that's me, taking my first crack at making a video. I can honestly say it turned out better than I expected, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be. So, after some great feedback from a select few I shared it with, I went back and started it all over again. I decided to tackle it from a completely different angle, and I'm so much happier with my second attempt. Or who knows? Maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised with your first creation and want to just stick with that. You'll never know unless you try it out. Hey guys, you didn't fall asleep, did you? If you did, welcome back. And I've got some great news for you. I'm going to clue you in on some other great YouTubers who have way better content than mine to keep your peepers peeled. Hey, do you like video games? Do you also like it when people other than cis white dudes are allowed to play them without violent threats to their well-being? Do you also hate it when fascist bungholes and politicians repurpose video games to drive people down an alt-right pipeline? Then check out the pixelated awesomeness of Rutgo's new video about how Steve Bannon and Milo that dickwad poison gaming. There's a link to the video in the description. And, as my pappy always said, why shout out one creator in your YouTube video about procrastination when you can shout out two? Which is oddly specific. Anyway, here's another mega cool YouTuber. Do you like soothing music and kind voices? Are you super timid but still furious about toxic culture and capitalism? Then check out Timid Femme. I recently watched their great video about white guilt, and I felt personally attacked. Not because they're in any way wrong, but because they did an amazing job that I could never pull off, illustrating an issue many people erroneously think that they already understand, all while making me feel comfortable and valid. So, I guess the opposite of attacking anyone. Find a link to that video in the description as well. We now return you to the show. You can go back to sleep now. So there's 4 handy tips to get you started on your adventures in BreadTube. Now, there are a lot of more technical things to learn about setting up and shooting your videos, and I'll touch a little bit on those in the second installment. If you don't think any of these tips so far sound right for you, then no problem. Stop listening to me and do what you think is best. But if there's one thing you take away from all of this, it's to start. Decide on whatever method you find most comfortable and do it. Today. Right now. You don't even have to wait for this video to finish. I'll take the hit on the watch time algorithm because I love you. Also, because actually this is the end. So, thanks for watching. I actually do get really self-conscious if you don't watch to the end. Also, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It makes me feel all fuzzy inside.